We have the winner of episode 2 of Win This Listing here to tell you why buying in East County could be a good choice for you. Please welcome Realtor and owner of Steele Canyon Realty, Lisa Ruiz.
And there she is, Lisa Ruiz.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Have you here. Of course, we've had you on Win This Listing.
Yes.
Multiple times.
Yes.
You've done very well for yourself there.
Thank you.
Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Today, instead of talking about selling a home, though, we're going to talk about buying.
Yeah.
In East County.
Yes.
Particularly. So let's quickly define East County, because I think that is changing for some people.
You think so?
Yeah, because I think that when I first came here in like college area or like Del Cerro, people called that like East County.
Oh yeah. No, I consider East County.
Or
so
La Mesa?
My office is in La Mesa. Yes.
You consider that East County?
I consider that East County.
That's pretty central though now.
But that's why it's so great to be in La Mesa, because you are in East County, but you're still very close to Mission Valley and downtown, and there's freeways to get you everywhere. So that is central. But to me, East County is La Mesa, east to let's say like Pine Valley, Descanso, even Campo. I mean, that's obviously East County. That's inland East County. But to me, La Mesa to Pine Valley, Spring Valley, Lemon Grove to Santee.
Okay. All right. So now we've got their boundaries defined. We're going to talk about buying, but not just buying in the East County, but in this year.
Yes.
The year of 2017. Yeah. Knowing what we know about what's happened in the past few years and where the market's at.
Yes.
Why, first of all, why would someone want to buy? What would be the advantages to looking to buy in East County?
100%. It's a new year. It's 2017. I think a lot of buyers held their breath during the election, kind of like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? I don't want to do anything. Just nobody was sure what was going to happen. And with the presidential nominee that won, with Trump being president, I think it's made it. So East County is mostly made up of a Republican group of people, and a lot of East County was probably a Trump voter.
Okay.
So those people that wanted to buy in East County were probably kind of like, oh, I don't know what to do, even if I want to buy at all, or do I want to buy anywhere, or do I want to buy in East County? Those people now are feeling more confident to be buying in 2017.
Okay. So you think that a lot of buyers are going to come to the marketplace?
Yes. They already are.
That'll create competition though, won't it?
Yes.
So that'll make the process maybe potentially more difficult.
Well, it's a great time to list too, because there's going to be buyers coming out of the walls, I think. So it does go both ways, The buyers, I literally, I mostly concentrate myself with listings, but I love buyers. I was a buyer's agent first. It's what I love. I love writing offers. I love negotiating. I love getting a good deal, but I also like just being part of that with a family to buy a home.
Right.
And, but buyers to me, I do work with them and I love them. They just haven't always, this last year it was a lot of listings. But this year I have buyers knocking on my door already saying, I want to buy this year, I want to buy in January, I want to buy in February, I want to buy right away. And you can always feel the buzz of buyers versus sellers, and right now their buyers are everywhere.
Really? Mm-hmm. And we should mention too that a lot of sellers are also buyers.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Jaeger Bunch.
Yes.
Episode 2, Win This Listing.
Yeah.
We should give you props there because not only did you sell their home for $25,000 above the appraised value that we had, the appraisal we had done, but you got them into their dream home $90,000 under budget.
Yes.
Which was incredible. I mean, they had almost given up.
Yes.
And this is in El Cajon.
Yep. Both El Cajon.
Both El Cajon, the seller and the buyer in El Cajon. And, they just didn't think, first of all, they didn't think they would ever find the next home.
Right.
So you can't sell this home until you find the next home. That's what a position a lot of people are in.
Right.
Unfortunately, the Jaeger Bunch has had some bad experiences in the past with real estate agents.
The last few that I've dealt with haven't listened very well to what I wanted.
The one thing that you want people to know about?
I'm a badass. Professionally, the one thing that I want people to know most about me is that I'm a really good realtor. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a really good sales negotiator, and I will get you the most amount of money for your house every time.
Lisa Ruiz here. If I don't win this listing, believe me, I'll be back.
Do you have a predisposition towards, or a prejudice at all towards realtors? Like, do you?
No, why would I? No, not at all. They're not lawyers.
This is my town, this is what I do, and this is where I grew up. So I know the ins and outs, and I think I would be the best representative to sell this house in this neighborhood.
Lisa, you win this listing.
Thank you.
Is there some advice that you would have for people who are in that type of situation heading into this new year, who want to sell, but they need to buy?
You're right. Hands down, it's the realtor. I mean, you have to have somebody that knows the intricate details of doing both transactions. You have to be able to sell and buy, and it has to be the right time, and you have to be, sometimes you have to turn, stones over to find the right house. Like for the Yeagers, we looked at several houses. She was looking at every house under the sun, and we happened to find the right one. And that agent on that listing, she had seen it before, and we went back to it again, and it was kind of like one of those, are you sure you didn't like this house? And she thought, well, let's look at it again. And she ended up loving it, going back a second time. So I think the agent has to be diligent and also very detail oriented to be able to get you to do both transactions and come out on the end where you want to be.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think one of the things you did really well with her, which was a big thing, if you watch Win This Listing episode 2, if you haven't seen it, winthislisting.com, it's right there under episode 2. You can watch it for the whole show for free. But she had talked to agents before, and they didn't listen to her.
Right.
I think something that you did really well was you really listened to the things that she wanted, and you were actually able to sort of become her.
Right.
When looking for these properties. And that's how you're able to show her a house that she'd seen before.
Right.
But go, hey, wait a minute, this does have all the things.
It checks all your boxes.
Yeah, that you wanted.
Yeah.
Why is it that you don't like this place?
Right.
And she was thrilled.
Right.
At
And she
the
was
end of the
actually out of
process.
town the day that we did that. I called and she sent Jay over to go look at it again. And she bought it from being out of town.
Really?
Yeah, from the pictures, because he was like, "Oh, I love it. It's perfect." So it's funny how it works out. And I think if you really do listen to people, and I'll take buyers out, and we'll go look at properties. Let's say we look at like 5 or 6 the first day. Once you get past that, you stop seeing what you're looking at. But we go look at a handful the first day, and oftentimes they'll buy one of those, but sometimes they don't. But what it does is it gives me, the realtor, a really good idea of what they do want. Just by listening to them and watching them and seeing how they're working together, you can really tell, like, oh, they really don't want that kind of a property. So let's not look at any more of those. So it whittles it down to what they do want.
Yeah, but you have to be listening and paying attention to those
Yes,
things in order to
which
be
is
able
really-
to do that.
Absolutely.
And that's what you mean by it's
Yes.
100% hands down the realtor.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Makes all
that
the
makes
difference.
sense. Well, let's talk about people who might be looking to buy in East County that don't own already. Let's say they're a first-time buyer, maybe they aren't. Maybe they're just a renter
Yeah.
who's bought before and sold, whatever. But they're looking to get in to the marketplace
Yes.
this year.
Yes.
What do you think are things that people like that who are maybe on the fence, what should they be considering versus their current circumstance?
Well, if they're on the fence, there's lots of reasons why you would buy versus why you would stay renting. A lot of people now, there are a lot of first-time home buyers, but a lot of the clients that I have probably owned a home at one time. They maybe bought it at the height of the market, maybe had a short sale, maybe was foreclosed on, they lost it, whatever circumstance they had, and now they want to get back into the market, but they want to be smarter this time about buying a house that's not way out of their means, so they want to buy a house that fits their budget. So if, let's say you're renting now, in East County rents are they're high everywhere, but in San Diego rents are awfully high.
Yeah.
So, and we keep seeing like all the articles saying rents are only going to get higher, and which they are. So right now, let's figure. So if a rental is, if you're paying $2,500 a month in rent, which is pretty average for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in East County.
Okay.
That's about right. So if you're paying $2,500 a month in rent, and you want to buy a house that's $450,000, and you put 5% down, that's $22,500. And that can come from, you can get some of that as gift. It can be your savings. It can be 401k if you want to borrow from your 401k without being penalized. You can do that. So it's a $450,000 house. You put 5% down, and your payment will be about $3,000. So your payment is going to go up a good $500 or so, but the tax difference with your tax savings, it's about $400 a month. So really, your monthly payment overall is only $100.
Okay.
Which is huge. And then you're not paying someone else's mortgage for them.
Yeah.
You're paying your own mortgage. And if you think of it over time, and I think a lot of people in this generation and a lot of people that are in my generation, they want to buy a house, stay there, and pay it off. Maybe move one more time, but I think most people right now are in this feeling of being able to really hunker down. You know, we see all these programs about people with chickens and having a garden and having a family. People want to stay in a house and they want to pay it off. So we see that either they're buying one now and they're going to do one more move up, or some people want to just buy a house and stay there and they want to pay it off. So this is pretty cool. If you add $250 a month to your payment, only $250, you'll save $76,000 over the course of your mortgage, and it will take 5 years and 8 months off your mortgage.
Isn't that
Which is
amazing?
pretty crazy.
It's
only
crazy.
$250 a month. If you did $500, it saves you $125,000, and it will take almost 10 years off your mortgage.
That's one thing that I think, you have a mortgage background.
Yeah.
And so do I. And so we know this very intricately, that if these 30-year loans are very front-loaded with interest.
Yeah.
And so if you can make any dent that you can make
Any
at
dent.
all, if it's just your tax return every year, you just apply it directly, it makes such a big difference in the
Yes.
long run. You can cut so many years off, especially on the front end. Now, the back end of the loan, the last 10 years, you're not going to be able to do that kind of damage.
Right.
But if you, in the front end, the first 10 years
Loaded up.
especially, it's loaded up with interest, you can really knock that interest out if you get out in front of it. I don't know if you ever saw the article that I wrote for the Union Tribune about buying a home. And it's really not an investment, but technically it's a hedge.
Right.
Because essentially you're hedging against the rent that you're talking about, the
Right.
rental spikes that are continuing to happen, because we have more people moving to San Diego every year than we do have units being built for them to live in.
Right.
So that is going to drive rents higher, for sure. It will also drive home prices higher. Or help them stay where they are, because it doesn't necessarily mean that the economy will be good enough for people to be able to afford to buy, but it does mean that there will be people who want to buy.
Right.
So if you can afford to do it, then it does make sense for a lot of reasons, mostly because of the hedge element, which is you're saying, all right, well, now my payment's $3,000 and that's it.
Right.
That's where it's at.
That's it.
So I'm hedging it at $3,000, and then in 30 years from now, worst case scenario, if I don't put any extra money towards it, then it goes to zero. So at that point, so you're hedging $3,000 for 30 years and then zero.
Right.
Otherwise it's $2,500 this year, $2,600 next year,
26 the following year.
27,
Yeah.
28,
Right.
and then who knows in 30 years what that rent would actually be.
Right.
So that's what you're really trying to get out ahead of. And I think East County is a great place, especially for first-time buyers or people who haven't been to the new East County, because it's not what it used to be.
Yes. No.
It's not what it used to be.
It's a great place, and a lot of families. And it's not, you can the same house that you could buy in East County for $450, you could buy in North County for $650.
Yeah.
So it's not like people say, I get funny jokes like, where's El Cajon again, or where's Alpine? You don't have to have a passport to get there. It's not, people wonder how far it is, but it's not far, and it's a nice little East County town. It is a great opportunity for kids and families, and a great place to get your start.
Fantastic stuff, Lisa Ruiz. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thanks
Really
for having
appreciate everything you do for this show. And of course, Win This Listing, episode 2. Check it out, winthislisting.com. Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else. Commercial free.